Herobrine. The legend of Herobrine began in mid-2010 with a chilling forum post. A player claimed that while playing alone in a single-player world, a mysterious figure appeared, identical to the default player model but with glowing white eyes. The story described bizarre occurrences, strange 2x2 tunnels carved through mountains with no logical purpose, trees with all their leaves stripped away, and mysterious sand pyramids built in the middle of oceans. The most terrifying part was a foggy screenshot showing a pine forest with a distant figure staring out with blank white eyes. This anonymous tale originally called the entity White Eyes and described it as a ghostly miner who roamed worlds silently, always staying at a distance and avoiding direct contact with players. The myth exploded when YouTuber Copeland staged a fake Herobrine sighting during a livestream on August 30th, 2010. He secretly placed a custom Herobrine painting in his house, then acted shocked and panicked when he discovered it on camera. Other streamers like Padimus followed with their own staged encounters, creating a wave of viral Herobrine content. The community ran wild with theories and supposed sightings. Modders created plugins that actually spawned Herobrine in games, giving him behaviors like lurking behind players, disappearing when looked at directly, or leaving cryptic messages in chat. Mojang themselves joined the fun by adding removed Herobrine to patch notes starting in 2011, turning it into a running joke that persists to this day. White Enderman. Stories of the White Enderman sped through creepypasta forums in the mid-2010s. Unlike the familiar black Enderman with purple eyes, this entity was described as completely white with glowing green eyes and green particle effects. The earliest accounts describe players encountering this inverse Enderman in strongholds or deep caves. According to the stories, the White Enderman was more aggressive and intelligent than regular Endermen. It could supposedly walk on water, kill players in one hit, and even prevent respawning. Some tales describe it teleporting without the usual particle effects or stopping through water without taking damage. Videos claim to show brief glimpses of an all-white figure darting through forests or stronghold corridors. The creature became part of larger theories. Some said it was Herobrine's transformed state, others believed it was an independent spectral being from the End Dimension. Entity 303. Entity 303 emerged in late 2013 as a more aggressive counterpart to Herobrine. The story began when a player named Frankie emailed YouTuber SpeedGamers about a terrifying server encounter. According to Frankie, their server's social spy plugin detected a non-existent player executing commands as player.number303. Players on the server reported seeing a ghostly figure with white skin and blazing red eyes moving in the distance. Then the real horror began. Chat spam with ominous messages like file overload and make a wish in white and gray text, screen corruption, and characters getting trapped by invisible forces. The legend painted Entity 303 as a hooded figure with black skin and a white parka who would type threatening messages like make a wish and say goodbye to your friends before killing players and crashing their games. The backstory claimed 303 was a former Mojang developer named John, who was unfairly fired and now haunted Minecraft, seeking revenge. Speed himself later claimed to encounter 303 on Xbox, describing villages spontaneously exploding and finding an entity labeled 303 in the game code. The myth spread rapidly through YouTube videos and forums, with players claiming to find cryptic 303 messages or the Swedish word hjälp meaning help scattered throughout their worlds. Ancient Builders. The Ancient Builders theory attempts to explain Minecraft's mysterious structures by proposing that an advanced civilization once inhabited the world. According to this hypothesis, desert temples, jungle pyramids, ocean mountains, and end cities were all built by these vanished architects who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The theory suggests these builders were incredibly advanced, capable of constructing elaborate redstone mechanisms, underwater cities, and even interdimensional portals to the end. Their sudden disappearance left only empty monuments and confused villagers who continued farming and trading without understanding their inherited civilization. Some versions connect the ancient builders to Endermen, suggesting the black creatures are either the transformed builders themselves or guardians of their ruins. The obsidian pillars in the end could be remnants of a once great city, while villagers might be descendants who lost their ancestors' knowledge and skills. The ancient builders theory provides a neat explanation for why Minecraft's world feels so mysteriously empty despite being filled with complex structures, turning scattered ruins into evidence of a lost golden age. Lost Souls. The Lost Souls myth focuses on the Nether's most disturbing elements, soul sand blocks with their embedded screaming faces and the human-like cries of ghasts. Players developed theories that the Nether served as a purgatory where the souls of dead players and ancient builders were trapped for eternity. Soul Sand's texture shows grotesque faces with open mouths appearing to wail in anguish. The theory suggests these faces belong to souls imprisoned in the blocks, forced to power the Nether's landscape. Some claim you can hear whispers if you listen carefully while walking on Soul Sand. Ghasts became part of this mythology due to their distinctly human screams. The sound is actually a recording of a woman's voice played in reverse. Players theorize that ghasts were literally dead people transformed into ghostly monsters, their cries echoing the pain of lost miners or fallen explorers. Null. Around 2014 to 2015, whispers of Null began circulating in darker corners of the Minecraft community. Unlike other entities, Null was described as a completely featureless, pitch-black player figure with no glowing eyes or distinctive features. The entity was said to be more of a presence you felt rather than saw clearly. Stories describe Null appearing in corrupted or abandoned worlds, where players would hear soft footsteps or eerie whispers. Occasionally, a completely black silhouette would be spotted melting into shadows or watching from cave entrances. Some players claim to find the word null flickering in crash reports or chat logs with no explanation. The most common sign of Null's presence was supposedly finding redstone torches arranged to spell null deep underground or in distant mountains. The backstory varied wildly. Some said Null represented the void itself. Others claimed it was the remains of a deleted account that somehow came to life, or a fallen entity seeking to avenge Herobrine. Unlike more publicized myths, Null sightings were typically shared quietly on Reddit and obscure forums. The few videos that surfaced showed barely visible black figures gliding through darkness or watching from afar, emphasizing Null's role as a silent observer rather than an active threat. Giant Alex. Giant Alex burst onto the scene in late 2020 through viral TikTok videos. The myth centered around a massive 12-block-tall version of the default Alex player model with glowing red eyes, supposedly lurking in specific world scenes. The legend provided precise instructions. Use Minecraft Java Edition 1.5.2 with Optifine, set difficulty to peaceful, render distance to 6 chunks, fog distance to 0.2, and enter a special seed. According to the instructions, players would spawn on a tiny island and need to carefully travel to the mainland, where they'd encounter the colossal Alex partially hidden by fog. Videos showed Giant Alex watching from afar, leaving behind massive 3x2x2 block footprints in the ground. Players reported hearing strange distant footsteps and feeling constantly watched by something in the mist. Some videos showed the sky darkening unnaturally as dusk fell unusually fast, adding to the ominous atmosphere. The precise steps required made it feel like an elaborate ritual, with hundreds of viewers spending hours searching swamps and forests for their own Giant Alex encounter. The Farlands. The Farlands were actually real, a terrain generation bug that existed from early alpha versions until mid-2011. At approximately 12,550,820 blocks from the world origin, Minecraft's noise algorithm would overflow, causing terrain to glitch spectacularly into impossible formations. Mountains folded into themselves, creating spongy maze-like walls and surreal landscapes of floating blocks and holes stretching endlessly. The alien formations looked like something from another dimension, with tangled stone spires and impossible geometry that defied normal Minecraft physics. Reaching the Farlands required months of continuous travel or clever portal tricks. Explorer Kurt J. Mac Cagle became famous for his Farlands or Bus charity journey starting in 2011, trekking for years towards those distant coordinates. The community developed elaborate theories about what might lie beyond the Farlands: hidden temples, strange monsters, or even other dimensions. Stories claim that if anyone could navigate through the twisted terrain, they might discover ancient secrets or encounter Herobrine himself. Killer Bunny. The Killer Bunny started as an actual Easter egg hidden in Minecraft's code, introduced in Beta 1.8 as a deliberate reference to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This white rabbit with bright red eyes was programmed to sprint towards players and wolves at incredible speed, dealing massive damage, enough to kill a fully healed player in one hit. Developer Jeb decided the creature was too dangerous for normal gameplay and removed it from natural spawning in 2014. However, the mob still existed in the game's data and could be summoned using commands or spawn eggs. This led to confusion among players who heard stories about the deadly rabbit but never encountered it naturally. The Killer Bunny was genuinely programmed into Minecraft, unlike most legends, but was hidden. Some players who discovered it through commands spread stories about encounters with a supernatural rabbit, not realizing it was an intentional developer creation. Red Steve. Red Steve emerged as a more recent addition to Minecraft's mythological roster, primarily through YouTube roleplay channels. Described as a corrupted version of the default Steve character, Red Steve supposedly had glowing red eyes and blood-tinted skin, appearing more sinister than a normal player model. Stories claim Red Steve appeared in cursed worlds or corrupted save files, often in heavily modified snapshots that caused visual glitches. The myth portrayed him as a hostile force that would stalk players at night, demolish structures, or cause games to crash unexpectedly. Some tales suggested Red Steve left graffiti or threatening signs with taunting messages. The backstory varied. Some claimed he was the result of a failed cloning experiment, others said he represented the player's dark side manifested in the game world. Certain stories even connected Red Steve to Entity 303. Suggesting they were related supernatural entities. Haunted Discs. Disc 11 became the center of supernatural theories due to its disturbing audio content. Instead of music, the disc plays unsettling sounds, static, heavy breathing, bone rattling, footsteps, and distant sounds that suddenly cut off. The audio feels like someone running through caves while being pursued by an unknown threat. Players analyze every whisper and crackle, claiming to hear hidden phrases like "half a gigahertz," "oh god," and "I'm sorry." Some develop elaborate theories that this contained an audio log of a doomed player's final moments, possibly someone named David being chased by a mysterious entity called Null or a miner fleeing from a wither. Disc 5, added in the 2022 Wild update, immediately attracted similar attention. Its eerie humming and distortion led to new theories connecting it to Disc 11, with some claiming together they told a continuous horror story. Players with sharp ears claim to hear distant cries or skittering sounds hidden in the audio. Seed 666. Seed 666 gained notoriety around 2013 as the ultimate cursed world seed. The number's association with evil made players naturally suspicious, leading to claims that entering 666 as a world seed would generate sinister occurrences. Stories varied widely. Some said torches would flicker uncontrollably in villages. Others claimed nether portals would blaze out of control. Videos appeared showing mysterious robed figures or unusual mob spawns at the 666 seed's spawn point. Players reported finding extra gold in nether fortresses, or strange black brick patterns that seemed intentionally ominous. The precise nature of the alleged curse kept changing as different content creators added their own embellishments. Challenge videos emerged where players dared each other to survive a night on Seed 666 or explored its depths looking for supernatural phenomena. The myth persisted because people wanted to believe that such a symbolically significant number would produce something genuinely frightening in Minecraft's world generation. Pigman Revenge. In the early 2010s, a warning spread through younger player communities. Never kill baby zombie pigmen. These rare mobs could occasionally spawn during zombie sieges or in nether fortresses under special conditions, and their scarcity made them seem mystical to players. The myth claimed that killing a baby pigman would trigger supernatural revenge. Some stories said the baby's mother would appear to avenge it, while others warned of massive swarms of adult pigmen that would relentlessly hunt the offending player. More elaborate versions describe curses that would follow players across worlds or summon a champion pigman boss. Players share these warnings on forums and early YouTube channels, often with dramatic videos showing staged consequences of harming baby pigmen. These stories played into the creature's rarity and a natural emotional response to harming baby animals, even fictional ones. Villager worship. The villager worship theory emerged from observations about villagers' strange, repetitive behavior and mysterious structures. Players noticed that villages had churches with bells, created enchanted books with cryptic titles, and seemed to follow rigid, almost ritualistic daily routines without apparent purpose. Some theories suggested villagers secretly worshipped the Ender Dragon or another ancient deity. The village bells could be ceremonial instruments, while nitwit villagers who couldn't trade might serve as priests or acolytes, with minds dedicated to faith rather than commerce. The Apocalypse. The post-apocalyptic theory attempts to explain Minecraft's eerily empty landscape by suggesting the world survived some great catastrophe. Proponents point to abandoned structures, ruined nether portals, zombie pigmen guarding broken gateways, and villages that seemed sealed off from a dangerous outside world. The theory suggests that the Ender Dragon or another calamity destroyed civilization, leaving only scattered ruins and isolated communities. Desert temples stand empty, mineshafts lie abandoned with cobwebs and skeletons, and the end contains towering obsidian structures that once housed a thriving civilization. This interpretation casts the player as possibly the last true human, explaining why they can respawn while others cannot. Villagers might be survivors who lost their civilization's knowledge, while the various monsters could be mutations or cursed remnants of the disaster. Creepers. The creeper origin story is actually confirmed history. Minecraft creator Notch has explained that while designing a pig mob, he accidentally swapped the height and length values in the code. Instead of a normal pig shape, this created a tall, thin creature with 4 legs and no snout. Rather than fixing the error, Notch found the bizarre silhouette interesting and decided to turn it into a new monster. He gave it green coloring, explosive behavior, and the ability to sneak up silently on players. The accidental creation became one of Minecraft's most iconic enemies. Steve and Alex clones. The clone theory questions why Steve and Alex are the only human players and why that never seems permanent. According to this speculation, the Minecraft world is some kind of experiment where players are actually clones being tested repeatedly. The theory suggests that every death triggers the creation of a new clone with the same memories, explaining infinite respawning. The static nature of villages and the presence of abandoned structures could be evidence of previous clone iterations who built and died before the current player arrived. Some versions connect this to larger conspiracy theories about the Minecraft world being a simulation or testing ground. The lack of other humans beside villagers and the mysterious nature of respawning mechanics provide circumstantial support for these clone theories. Blood Moon. The Blood Moon myth claimed that Minecraft occasionally experienced special red-tinted nights, where monsters became extremely aggressive. Stories describe the moon turning deep crimson, while zombies became immune to sunlight, creepers exploded more violently, and hostile mobs spawned in massive numbers. Players swore they had witnessed these supernatural events, describing nights where everything seemed more dangerous and the very sky looked ominous. Some claimed to see red tinges in the moonlight that made familiar landscapes appear threatening and alien. Grave in the Woods. The most recent addition to the list is The Grave in the Woods, which emerged around 2020 through viral TikToks. This story claimed players could randomly discover lone graves in forest biomes, stone slabs arranged like tombstones with flower pots holding red flowers and signs reading RIP Steve or similar messages. These videos presented the graves as mysterious warnings left by unknown forces, possibly connected to Null, Herobrine, or other supernatural entities. The aesthetic of dark woods, solitary markers, and implied death fit perfectly with existing Minecraft horror folklore. The viral nature of these TikToks led thousands of players to search forests looking for their own mysterious graves, because the presentation of these videos makes them seem like genuine discoveries rather than player-created content.